Well, welcome to the 700 Club. A video from Jerusalem's Old City has now gone viral. It shows Orthodox Jewish men and children spitting on the ground as they pass a group of Christians carrying a cross.
Well, Israeli leaders quickly condemned the incident, and now police have arrested some of the men in the video. Chris Mitchell reports from Jerusalem.
The video shows Christian pilgrims carrying a cross onto the Via Dolorosa, the traditional route Jesus walked to Calvary. As they walked out, Orthodox men and boys spit on the ground. The incident took place here at the first station of the cross, where many Christians retraced the steps of Jesus on the way to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, believed to be the place where Jesus was buried and rose again. When the video hit social media, reaction from Israeli and Jewish leaders quickly followed, including Israel's chief rabbis and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu stated offensive behavior towards worshipers is a desecration and is unacceptable. We will show zero tolerance toward any harm to worshipers. CBN News also asked Jerusalem's mayor, Moshe Leon, about the incident.
I condemn it, and we're making sure there won't be any incidents like this in the future. Incidents like this are forbidden in Jerusalem and in the state of Israel. But because I'm the mayor of Jerusalem, I'm responsible to make sure things like this won't happen.
During the annual Jerusalem March at the Feast of Tabernacles, CBN talked with Hananya Naftali, social media advisor to the Prime Minister.
All corners of the Israeli leadership have condemned it, from the president to the prime minister to members of the Knesset, our parliament. So it is good to see that Israeli leaders take a stand and say, this persecution of Christians does not represent who we are as Israelis.
One Jewish activist defended the spitting incident and wrote on X that perhaps under the influence of Western culture, we have forgotten what Christianity is. But I think the millions of Jews who experienced the Crusades, the Inquisition, blood libel, and mass pogroms will never forget. But David Parsons of the ICEJ stated, we must be the first to admit there is a much longer, painful history of Christian hostility towards the Jewish people. But thankfully, there has been a sea change in Christian attitudes concerning the nation and people of Israel in our day. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, in Jerusalem's Old City.
Well, it's certainly unfortunate. Anyone that has any familiarity with walking the streets of Jerusalem, you may have seen this kind of behavior. It may have occurred. Have there been incidents in the past? Yes. Has there been anti-Christian graffiti actually put on places of worship, churches in Jerusalem and in Israel? The answer is yes. But that is not the majority opinion. It's certainly not the standard of the government. The Jewish people have been faithful stewards of Jerusalem, of all the holy sites in Israel, whether those are Muslim sites or Christian sites. They absolutely have been good stewards since they took over in 1967. Now, let's go back in history. When Jordan had control of Jerusalem, were Jews allowed? And the answer is no, they weren't. They weren't even allowed in a place called the Jewish Quarter in the Old City. They were completely removed. Their synagogues were destroyed and desecrated. They weren't allowed to go to the Western Wall. They weren't allowed anywhere near it. So let's congratulate them for their decades of faithful stewardship and not let these isolated incidents from extremists. Let's not do that. And let's continue the dialogue to say, we're not against you. We're with you. We're with you in this struggle. We want to see you succeed. We want to see you have the right of self-determination. We support Israel. In other news, a Virginia pastor is giving thanks to God and his security team for stopping a deadly church attack. Ephraim Graham has that story and more from the CBN Newsroom. Ephraim?
Gordon, it happened on a Sunday morning in late September. Church security stopped the potential attack with just moments to spare. As the pastor told CBN's Brody Carter, the miraculous intervention not only saved lives, it also saved souls.
Through God's power and his discernment that he gave the team, lives were saved that day.
As the senior pastor of Park Valley Church's 3 campuses, Barry White now knows firsthand how crucial security teams are to gospel ministries in today's culture.
we give 100% all the glory to God, because God did some absolutely miraculous things to help us avoid a tragedy. But I got to tell you, our security team, they were absolutely amazing.
That amazing work on Sunday, September 24th, saved countless worshipers at the church's Haymarket campus from the plans of this man, 35-year-old Ru Jiang.
As far as mental health concerns, there may be some concern there.
First Sergeant Jonathan Parak says a woman called police after seeing frightening images posted by Jiang on social media. This included a Bible-burning video, a picture of a gun pointed at a church, and photos of Park Valley with a quote, "Blood will be on your hands."
The posts were concerning. The items that were found inside of his residence were concerning.
Police traced the online photos to Jiang's address at this complex in Fairfax County, Virginia. By the time officers arrived, Jiang had already left.
After surveying the church, taking pictures and posting them onto social media, the suspect came back to Sunday morning church. He'd entered through these north doors here at Park Valley Church, allegedly ready to carry out America's next mass shooting.
Staff immediately identified Jiang as suspicious as he walked in wearing all black and dark sunglasses on a rainy day. Security, accompanied by an off-duty officer, approached Jiang and arrested him for carrying a handgun, loaded magazine, and 2 folding knives.
We tip our hats more to them and their interaction. Thankfully, the officer was there in the event that something escalated.
In addition to lives saved physically that day, Pastor White says God acted in a mighty way spiritually.
One of the reasons I told our church is God wanted these services to happen because we were giving people an opportunity to accept Christ. And 14, I believe, new names were written in the Lamb's Book of Life as a result of those services happening without a hitch.
The incident happened just days before Park Valley's 20th anniversary, as Pastor White encouraged the church to pray for Jiang, to find help, healing, and ultimately to know Christ.
God did a victory, right in front of our very eyes. And it's almost like he wanted to show just how powerful he was right before our 20th anniversary.
Police I spoke with call it luck for catching that suspect in the nick of time. Pastor Barry White tells me and proclaims it was God and his perfect timing that stopped the suspect from carrying out that act of violence. He says the church will stay focused on its mission, proclaiming the gospel, and that it's excited for the next 20 years and what's in store. In Haymarket, Virginia, Brody Carter, CBN News.
President Jimmy Carter celebrated his 99th birthday this week. In his honor, volunteers took part in Habitat for Humanity's Jimmy and Rosalind Carter's Work Project. This project has built, renovated, and repaired thousands of homes in 14 countries over the years. CBN's Abigail Robertson reports from North Carolina, where the tradition continues.
For 35 years, the Carters have donated a week of their time each year to building safe and affordable homes as part of the Carter Work Project. Since this is the first year they haven't been on site, country music superstars Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood are taking the reins. They're here in Charlotte, leading nearly 3,000 volunteers in building 27 new homes.
Seeing the families and knowing from doing this before how happy they are now and how much happier they're going to be once they get into that house. I think that's what it is for me. That's the thing that I love the most.
The country music power couple has volunteered with Habitat for Humanity alongside the Carters for more than a decade.
But the truth is, great leaders, whether they're there or not, are there. The Carters are here. Chip and Becky, their boy and his wife are here. They work harder than anybody else. But they stay in the background. Just there's that humility again and service. That's it. So there's your light. Just follow it.
This year, Garth and Trisha get the honor of handing the new homeowners their keys in a Bible, a long-standing tradition at Habitat for Humanity.
If you've got that Bible, you've always got that foundation you can start over. If you're at rock bottom, there's the Bible. If you're on top, there's the Bible. I think it's as much a foundation as the floor you're standing on in your house.
With faith at their core, volunteers begin each day with a morning devotional and along the way write scripture and encouraging messages on homes as they build them.
I hope that they know that every nail that has been driven, every board that has been placed has been done so with love.
While the organization has built homes since 1976, CEO Jonathan Reckford credits the Carters for turning the once small operation into what it is today.
The world world found out about Habitat in 1984 when President Carter and Mrs. Carter rode a bus up from Plains, Georgia to New York City and spent a week sleeping in a church basement and rehabbing a tenement building on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. And no one had ever seen a former president of the United States behaving this way.
In order to qualify for a Habitat for Humanity home, homeowners must volunteer for almost 300 hours, plus take classes on financial management and home maintenance. As part of the home purchasing process, Habitat works with the buyer to ensure the mortgage allows the family to spend no more than 30% of their income on housing.
That's one of the reasons that Habitat homeowners have been incredibly successful, even though they are lower income than most other homeowners.
For future homeowners like Brianna Sanford, Habitat for Humanity is a dream come true.
I couldn't have done it without God. I'm telling you, God is awesome.
Sanford helped design her new home that she'll soon share with her 2 kids.
So I'll be able to live more comfortable, be able to take my kids and do more, take them out of town, different places that we've never been before. It is just going to be a break.
While many first-time homeowners like Brianna will receive their keys this week, Habitat for Humanity volunteers will continue working at this site until 39 homes in the community are completed. Reporting from Charlotte, Abigail Robertson, CBN News.
And speaking of housing, housing is a desperate need for victims of that wildfire that devastated an Hawaiian town on the island of Maui in August. About 2,700 people are still living in hotels. CBN's Operation Blessing is shifting into high gear to help them out. OB trucks are on a journey across America to deliver ready-to-assemble shelters that can be put together in minutes and feel like home. 5 trucks left New Jersey this morning, headed for California, where the materials will be put on a ship for Hawaii. Operation Blessing is coming alongside King's Cathedral Church and Family Life Center as they work to provide shelters for hundreds of displaced Hawaiians. We'll be following that work for you as well. Gordon?
And thanks to you, if you're a member of the 700 Club, you're part of that convoy. You're part of providing housing for the victims of that horrible fire in Hawaii. If you want to be a part of it, a lot of different ways you can do it, but one of the best is to say, I want to give to the Operation Blessing Disaster Relief Fund. You can call us, 1-800-700-7000, or you can visit cbn.com. There's a way you can designate your gift to OB, Disaster Relief Fund. Or you can just text us as well. I think we got a text number for this, but it's not on that graphic, and I don't remember it. I think it's OBDR to 71777, if my memory, my old memory is working right. But anyway, CBN, Disaster Relief Fund, CBN Center, Virginia Beach, Virginia, 23463.